Hello everyone, it is Demo Donna here, and for this class I am going to show you how to put together your 3D birthday flower card. And this is from a die set from Pink and Main, and I will of course attach the link to this die set. And I did incorporate a few of the dies from my stash. Some of them are Pink and Main, some of them are from other companies, and the stamp set as well is from my stash. But there are a ton of Pink and Main fabulous little dies that you can put, stamps that you could put on your banner die. So definitely check those out. And this die set itself is a standalone dimensional die where you don't need a card base, but I thought I would do a different spin on it. And then also the beautiful embossing folder is Pink and Main as well, and I will put a link to that, as well as the beautiful flocking that we are using for this kit today that you have a sample of. So to get started, what you're going to want to do is separate out your card bases. And just keep in mind, I do cut the paper two together. So like for instance, if you just see one wheel in your kit, the other one's probably right behind it. Same with the roof and these individual pieces and the butterflies. So just make sure you separate everything and then put one card to the side so you can go ahead and start creating your first one. And what we are going to do first is take these little guys apart. There we go. And you do have gems in your kit as well. And then you also have a baggie of smaller pieces. I didn't want them to be loose in your kit. Okay, so what you do need for this kit are your white A2 card bases. So they are not included. So you can go ahead and take a piece of your cardstock and just cut that in half and score that, fold that in half, and you will have two card bases. I'm just gonna leave this here so you can look at it while we create. Okay, the first thing I am gonna do is take my roof, and you're gonna see stitching on 3 of these. 2 of these don't have the stitching. That's where these guys are gonna go. And make sure you have the 2 facing in different directions. So if you have 2 exactly the same, make sure you separate, one goes on to the other card. So that is something to keep in mind. I love this feature on this die set with Pink and Main because then you can coordinate. You can do fun different roof colors. You can do red and white. You can do pastels. I really wanted to take the whole black and white cart theme and then have the flowers and my butterflies be the pop of color. So the feature really is the flowers and the butterfly, where the cart is a nice bold black and white. So that is how simple it is to create your little awning. And I am gonna actually fold down on that score line. Make sure those are good and dry. And we are gonna fold down because we are gonna make more of that 3D pop-up look. So I just did a little bit of a curve on it. And then when we adhere that to our card, I'm gonna double up on my foam tape to give that a nice lift. So I'm gonna go ahead and set that aside. Next, this is where the 3D part comes into play, but we're gonna cut this off. So I am just gonna grab my scissors. You can also use your paper cutter if you're not comfortable doing a straight line with your scissors, but we're just cutting from this end right here to this end. That is my puppy saying hi. So hello to everybody from my sweet little dog Deke. There is someone walking across the street, so I'm glad that you've all been alerted. All right, trim that and throw that away. Now, if you are creating your 3D pop-up, you would cut out 2 of these bases, and that little tab is what you would use to create your 3D pop-up. But in this case, we are just gonna use a 3D pop-up, but on our card base. So I'm gonna go ahead now, and I'm just gonna take my little piece here, And I'm gonna take the back of my cart, and I'm trying to decide how I want. So you can go either way, and I think I'm gonna go this way. I'm gonna have my design going inside, but you can do it, this one I did the design going outside. So just to show, you can decide how you want that look. Okay, I am adding just one little thin layer of glue, and then I'm taking this piece here and I am gonna pull that down just a little bit so there's a top of my cart. There we go. You can also add a thin line of 1/8 inch tape if you don't want to glue it, but I am happy with that. So once that is glued, I'm just going to go ahead and set that aside. And I'm going to take this right now, and I did say optional if you want to round your corners. So I am just going to round 2 of my corners, and I like to look on the back because sometimes you put it in a little wonky and you don't realize it. So if you flip it over and you look in the back and make sure it's nice and centered when you're doing your punches, it helps create a better corner. Where this one, I did not flip it over and it's a little, I had to trim it with my scissors. So that's just a little trick I've learned over the years. I also have an envelope maker, and sometimes I use that for making my corners as well. And then I'm going to go ahead and glue this onto my card front. So I'm just going to grab my craft glue. You can also use your rolly tape, but since I am just doing paper on paper really quick, grab my card base, line that up to the top, and just kind of scooch that around till I am happy with that placement. And there we go. And my corner rounding is kind of small, but that's okay. You could trim off, if you wanted to, trim off like a 1/2 inch and have that lifted up a little bit, not even just a 1/4 inch. But I'm okay with just that really fine little detail. And now I've got the base of my card propped up here. And next what we are gonna do is take my little wheel base here, and I'm just gonna add a little drop of glue, and I'm gonna place this right here. And I'm pushing that up a little bit. You're gonna want to have it even with, so you're gonna glue that on, and this line here is gonna go on your white card base. So having those even up just by using this as a guide, and that looks good. It doesn't have to be perfect, just so you know, but that is gonna be your measurement. You don't want this sticking out like a full 1/4 inch while this little wheel is up higher. So now I'm gonna go ahead and place that wheel right there. Set that down. Okay, I have my base done. I'm now gonna dive into my little baggie of goodies here. You know, the trick is always opening it up. And you could even cut these if you can't, because I know these bags are tiny. So I can imagine some of my fabulous students will just cut these open and grab all their stuff out. Okay, I am looking for my wheelbase, which looks just like this. So it's the black circle with the hole in the middle. And again, there's 2, I just need the 1. And I'm gonna grab my glue. And I am just gonna add a little glue. Come out wherever you are. Don't be shy. There we go. and just add that right over that white. And then that is pretty much it for the base of my cart. I am going to now grab my foam tape, and I have my nice foam roll from Pink and Main, and I'm gonna cut that. I'm gonna do 2 little strips to pop up my base, and I'm gonna show you a trick. So I'm gonna do 1, and I'm going a little low here so I can glue my little stems down here. So I'm going right there, and I'm gonna go right there. Now I'm gonna take the backing off of this, and I am gonna save the backing because I'm gonna show you a really great trick for cutting your foam. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna take another little piece to pop up my banner, and I am gonna take that backing from one of these pieces. So I just put it right on top. So right now this is not sticky at all. And I'm gonna go ahead and cut it in half. And that is how you can easily cut down your foam. And now I peel off one of the sides, stick that foam on, and peel that off. And that makes it nice and easy too, so you don't have adhesive on your scissors. No one wants that. Okay, center my lovely little cart, and then I'm gonna take this, and now you know why I placed my larger wheel on this side and my smaller wheel here, so I can use that in my design. So I'm gonna lay my banner just right over the top of the wheel, just like that. And my placement is so I have room for my flowers and my butterfly. So it's all placed where it's placed specifically for a reason. Okay, back to my foam tape. I am going to place that little extra piece because I cut that in half, and I am going to add my larger piece first, and you can just double up on 2 pieces of foam, or I'm just gonna now take that little extra piece just like that, and then I am gonna add some glue here as well, just along the top here. There we go. And I am going to put that right there. Kind of push that down. There we go. And now I don't even have these adhered, and you don't even really have to worry about it because we are going to be sticking our flowers between the 2. So those are going to be glued down by our actual flower tops. So don't even worry about gluing those guys down. All right, now I am going to take my lovely little flowers here. And so what I've done is I've cut out 2 of each. So in the die set, which I did not show you yet, so here is the full die set. And again, this is called Flower Cart Pop-Up Dies. When you're making the 3D cart, there are instructions on the back telling you what goes where and how many pieces of each you need. So those are nice and important. But you've got 5 beautiful flowers in here. You have 2 of each in each color. So that way you can double up. So for instance, I did these guys pink for this cart. So for my next cart, I'm gonna do those guys red and these guys pink. So that way your 2 carts aren't gonna be exactly the same. I just wanted you to have that in mind. So I'm gonna take all of my flowers and use my fingernail tools to just curl them up. And that again is another 3D aspect of this card is to just curl everything up. And actually I want this one on the bottom. So I am going to do that and then layer those together. And then once I have my centers down, I'm gonna pop that up even more. So that one's gonna be red. Like I said, I am reversing of what I have here. Now, I have a full kit ahead of me, but if you're doing this, what you have left, so if you create your flowers for one, obviously the flowers you have left are for your second card. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, process of elimination. Card number 1 done. The flowers you have left are for card number 2. Okay, again, I'm layering these to make more of a, well, apparently you need more glue. There we go. All right, I am gonna stick that down. There we go. Flower, these weren't supposed to be pink, so that is for my other card. You know, that's all right. Flower number 2 is now red. Curl that with my fingernail tool. There we go. All right, number 3 is this one with the little stitch lines going through it. And I love this red cardstock because it has like a textured polka dot, which looks really fun. Layer these two together. All right. And then my 2 pink ones. So I am gonna grab this flower here and this one here. Curl that up and then curl that up, layer those, and do the same with my final flower. There we go. All right, and we are now going to see our little layout. Fabulous, I'm happy with that. The next step is going to be adding our beautiful flower centers. So I'm gonna scoot all this over. I'm gonna grab my coffee filter and we are gonna pick 5 flower centers. I'm gonna do a nice big one. So you're gonna take your yellow flower centers and you're gonna pop off that little top. And again, you need 5 per card. You might have a couple extra in your kit in case you wanted different sizes. And I'm gonna go 1, 2. This is going to be number 3 and number 4. And 1 more to go. Pop that off. Number 5. There we go. And now I'm going to take my beautiful Flocking with Glitter in It from Pink and Main, and I am just going to tap that out. Just do a little pile per flower center. And then I'm going to take my finger tool and just push those down. And it's really fun because the Flocking with the Glitter in It really makes your flower center look very dimensional. Once I've done that, I'm kind of taking my finger tools now and just wiping off the excess one at a time. And the flocking is going to stick to me. I'm actually like rubbing it into my fingers. So I'm going to take my cleanup brush when I'm all done. And there is number 4 and number 5. So now I have this flocking rubbed all over my fingers, and I am just simply going to wipe that off I can do a little shake over a paper bag or your trash can. And there we go. Flower center number 1. I'm just gonna set it over here. Number 2, number 3, number 4, and our last one for this card. You can obviously do all 10 to finish that up for both of your cards. I'm gonna just taco that together and put that back in my bag for my second card. Now bring my card base back and my flowers back, and I'm gonna go ahead and put my centers down. So I'm gonna grab this guy first and my nice big flower center, which is really fun. Just squeeze that on, make sure that is fully adhered. Flower number 1, a flower number 2, grab my center, there we go. All right, these little guys, just gonna wet that again. Okay. 1. Picking them up's the easiest part. Wink, wink. Okay. There we go. All of my flowers have centers now. Just gonna push them down a little. All right, while those guys are drying, I am going to take my butterfly bodies and I'm gonna add just a little glue to the back. The one with the 2 antennae are for your larger butterfly. And I'm just going to fold up those wings. Add a little glue to the back and pop that guy down right about there. I like it on the white so you can really see its body. If you put it on the black, its antenna and its body is gonna kind of get lost in that. So if you put it over one of the white awning pieces, it pops out a little bit more. All right, add a little glue for this little guy. I'm gonna glue the body right there. And I'm gonna fold this one up as well. So just add a little adhesive here. There we go. So kind of our little butterfly landing on our banner, which is super cute. All right, next what we are going to do is take our greenery. So all these remaining flowers will be what you do on your second card. So you'll see the layout for card number 1 is different from the layout for card number 2, just in terms of the flower colors, not really the layout. Okay, so I'm gonna grab this guy here, and I'm actually just gonna add a little adhesive to my leaves. There we go. And that is going to be this flower here. And I am gonna pop these up so I have some fun pop dots. And I'm gonna use this one, grab my dimensional pop dot, curl my leaves up again, my petals, to really give it that 3D effect. And then just scooch that in there, right about there. Yeah, you can come a little bit lower. Good thing I just pushed it down. All right, pop that guy up before it really sets. There we go. There, that is cute. Okay, my second flower, I'm gonna do this guy right here. And we are gonna tuck in, we're gonna tuck a leaf in after I stick it on. So I'm gonna grab another pop dot. Again, great opportunity place that right there. You want to make sure your butterfly has a little room. There we go. And then grab a little leaf. And I think I'm going to do a leaf coming out right there. Love it. All right, and just to make sure that is adhered down, I am going to stick my little pokey tool in there, poke it down, and curl my little leaf up. So here is a nice up close and personal of what we've done so far. All right, I am now going to take my next little stem, tuck it in a little bit. There we go. This is for our little flower here. Again, once you add that pop dot on, you can curl those leaves up again. Peel that off. There is my flower. So cute. Okay, you know, you guys clap at yourself too when you're creating something, right? Just give it a little clap, clap. Okay. Peel that off. Stick this guy towards the end of my cart here. Again, toss a little leaf in there. I'm gonna do one here, and I might even do, does help if you just don't glue it to your finger, but glue it to the paper as well. That's when that guy comes in handy. And I think I'm gonna add another one on this side. There we go. Poke that in while you pop that up. There we go. Our last but not least, I'm gonna curl up these little leaves and I'm gonna glue down my stem for a little added 3D. And you know what? I am gonna probably pop these two off. I've glued everything down. There we go. That's gonna go right about there. Get under there. Okay. And our final flower. And our card is almost done. So cute. I'm gonna add my little pop dot, curl these petals back up. And this guy's gonna go right here. Lovely. Last but not least, you've got a couple different sizes of your gems. I'm gonna take the largest one and put that inside my wheel. Really cute. I've got red, so there's red, and there's this really pretty soft gold and pink, and then a darker pink. So all the colors work really nicely with your flowers. And then you've got a couple of these other ones. So I'm just make sure you know that these are for both of your cards. So I'm gonna add one here. I'm gonna do one there. And then I'll do one out here. And then with my bigger one, maybe I'll just do one more of those. And then there we have it. There is our beautiful 3D birthday flower cart. And in your kit, you get enough to make 2 cards. And I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun creating it and teaching you. And the link to this card kit is in the description, as well as all of the Pink & Mane products that I used today. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.